Hey everybody, welcome back to Worried to Wealthy. Today, what we're going to be going over is cash. What am I doing with it right now? And also, where do I keep my emergency fund? A lot of people have been asking me, and by a lot of people, I do mean zero people. Like literally nobody asked me this, but I do see a lot of videos on this, and I do think it is a common question where you put your emergency fund. So, before I get into that, I just wanted to say, this disclaimer that I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please treat this as entertainment. I'm just a guy on YouTube, and I'm just trying to help somebody out. And I do say that not only to protect myself, but I really am trying to protect you as well. I really do believe that if you know what you're holding, you're going to do far better than someone who doesn't. So that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing I want to do, we ended up with, if you haven't watched my video, go ahead and watch it. We ended up with $1,035.32 so far in July. And I think probably my final payment, maybe an interest payment will pop in for like 2 cents. But we actually got $520.80 from BIL, which is where my emergency fund is. So we got a pretty nice update there. And you can see that this compounding effect is really starting to take place. And again, I did sell some of my stock that wasn't paying a dividend, and I'm now putting it into income generating assets. But at the end of the day, wealth accumulation is wealth accumulation, and this compounding effect is really starting to take effect. I think I've said effect like 86 times now. Now let's go into the first thing that I was going to talk about. So the first thing I was going to talk about is, what am I doing with cash? What do I mean by that? Why am I being so vague? This is not for views. What I'm doing here is I'm actually budgeting with cash. A lot of times you've seen like Dave Ramsey or other people do this, the envelope method. Some of you may know what I'm talking about. What I'm doing is I'm trying to do a month of all cash, and I can tell you right now, I'm actually having a lot of fun with it, because I'm a frugal guy. I don't spend a lot on things that I don't really need, but at the same time, I'm not perfect. I'm human, and I will sometimes buy things I don't need. And what's cool about cash, instead of like having the Visa tap and go, the beep, and then you just go. That's my impression of it. Now I have cash, and now I have to pull it out every single time, and then I see what I'm left over with every single time. And it's pretty interesting to see the psychological effect it's having on me, and bringing me more back to my roots of trying to save as much as possible. Again, without going too crazy, you do have to treat yourself every once in a while. Um, so what's interesting, it's kind of funny. Right now, I feel like this, and hopefully, if I can only spend just this amount, I can end up looking more like Floyd. But yeah, that's what's going on right now. I'll keep you guys updated. Comment below if you guys think I'm going to be going like above the 2,500 limit, or if I'm going to be able to stay below and hit my goal. So yeah, comment below. I'm excited for what you guys have to say. I also wanted to say I'm super excited. We have another subscriber for the channel, and we had our views surge. So I was pretty excited. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for sharing if you did. And yeah, so moving forward here, again, just kind of talking about it. If you guys like this, if you guys really like to see this and want to see more, please smash that like button and hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. And as you know, my dog Camper really, really appreciate it. She's really, really happy. And honestly, she's just happy to be there, and she's a cutie pie. So moving forward, I'm gonna exit out of this. So where do I keep my emergency fund? I originally used to keep it in this high yield savings account with American Express. I still have the account. I'll be honest with you, I actually really recommend this account. It typically has pretty competitive rates. 4% is what it pays right now, and it has no minimums, no monthly fees. I hate fees. If I can get away from those as much as possible, I personally will. It's also FDIC insured. FDIC insured basically means that the bank goes under, like we saw with Silicon Valley at the beginning of this year, then you're covered by the federal government. So I really liked it. I just like having it in this ETF that I'll show you in a second called BIL. But right now, so BIL, what it is 1 to 3 month treasury bills. and right now it's paying about 5%. So this fund distribution yield is over the past 12 months. And this is kind of like, I think, basically when you take the yield of 1 month and you multiply it by 12, what is it, or what is it currently yielding right now? So right now it's currently yielding 5. Over the past 12 months, it was yielding 3.48. Why did I go into T-bills? One of the reasons why was I like to follow the money, and I saw Warren Buffett did it. He puts his money mostly in risk-free U.S. Treasury bills. And then I also saw Alex Hormozy. He actually talked about Warren Buffett as well. He's like, I'm watching what Warren Buffett does. Another thing he said is that banks do fail a lot. If they're FDIC insured, then obviously you're going to be good to go. But if I wanted to pull out, like right now, I have a good amount of money in BIL, and if I were to take out, if I were to go to a bank and say, "Hey, I want my $100,000 today, I need to go put it into an investment," they'd be like, "No, you can get it probably in 3 to 5 days. You might have to sign something too." And for me, I just don't like that. Again, I would recommend the American Express high yield savings account. It's great. I still have it. I have like $20 in there, but I really, really like BIL. Now, when you go to BIL, you probably have the questions. Well, what's the max drawdown? What's this or that? Actually, before I go into that, so I used to be invested in something called BND, and I'll probably go back into it at some point when I'm closer to FIRE and have more into it. But the reason why I'm not in BND anymore is because it actually lost a bunch of money, and I'm really confused as to why. But basically, it had a pretty big drop. I'd say in about like 2 years, right? I guess it's a little over 2 years if I'm doing my math right. It lost 21%. Like that's something of a drop that you think would happen in stocks, but it's not. And it's kind of scary seeing that. And so when I looked at BIL, I got this from Ray Dalio. He's another billionaire. And so you're looking at this and you're like, okay, well, what's this big drop? What is this? It's going down and to the right. You can look at a couple different examples, right? If you go from the very top, come on, there we go, and then you go all the way to the bottom, right? All the way here. It's probably about like 7 years or something like that. When you look at this, you lost less than 1%, about 3/4 of 1% that you lost. And during this time right here, it was paying dividends. And then about like here or so, it wasn't paying any dividends. So you kind of like just were net zero besides inflation. Um, and what Alex Hormozy was saying is that what's cool about treasury bills is that if they need more, they just print more. So you're just going to pretty much always get your money. And if the US ever doesn't, well, I think we have bigger problems on our hands than just holding T bills and not getting paid. So there's one example of, going from the absolute top to a bottom. One of the other things we can look at is let's go for COVID. So lockdowns probably have a March 6th, March 20th, the absolute bottom of the market, you went up by 0.1%, right? And then it basically was nothing. Your money didn't do anything, which is probably, if you're in equities, you then just stay in equities, right? If you're in this, you didn't do anything either, right? Equities ended up, obviously going back to V shape. Another thing I looked at before I invested in it was what happened during 2007. And so I kind of looked at like, October 2007 is probably more or less when it started, somewhere around there. And the bottom of the financial crisis was March of 2009. And so basically, it's basically, you didn't lose anything at all. You lost 0.09%, or I guess if you go to March 27th of 2009, you didn't lose anything, and you're getting dividends during this point. So that's why I chose BIL, and that's where I put my emergency fund. So yeah, again, Comment if you think I'm gonna go above, 2,500, or if you think I'm gonna be able to stay under that. I'll be honest with you, I have no clue. We're gonna find out. I'm just having fun while I'm doing it. And please smash that like button and hit that subscribe button. I'm so excited to have another subscriber on board. And again, with the views surging the way they are, I just want to keep this going, and I really just want to help somebody out. Um, Again, the reason why I built this channel in the first place is because I really wanted someone else to open their books to me. And I kind of had to figure this all out myself. So I'm just giving all this information away because I really think it can help somebody else out. And if you're watching these videos, I guarantee you're one step ahead of everybody else in becoming financially independent. So until next time, we really appreciate it. And by we, I of course mean Camper and I. So until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later.